Hello my fellow YouTubers and welcome to another thing by me, Tarrker the Newt. Today I'm going to be talking about this game, Rise of Legions. It's free to play on Steam and the closest comparison I can get is to Desert Strike from StarCraft. I honestly don't know how else to describe it. It's basically Desert Strike from StarCraft 2. And I already know what you're thinking. A free-to-play game on Steam that's based on gameplay from a StarCraft map. That sounds terrible. Well, I'm going to show you why it's not at all terrible. In fact, it is a wonderful game. It takes that classic gameplay style and it does some stuff with it that's unique and just makes it so worth playing. It kills me that there's only about 30 some players playing it at any given time. 40, like right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning, so I don't expect a lot of people to be playing. 40 is a lot for 9 o'clock in the morning, but I really hope this game gets some traction. We need more people playing it, and it is definitely worth playing. But yeah, I can barely afford food most of the time, so I don't spend money on games. So when a free-to-play game like this comes along, it is a huge godsend to me. And honestly, you get the crystals pretty well, and you get a lot for what you pay for. Like I could pay $6 and get 2,500, which is a lot depending on what you use them for. Like as far as buying skins, that's probably not a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't even have enough for the Voidbane skin. But you know, it's not bad compared to things like Heroes of the Storm or I don't know, other free-to-play games. I don't play a lot of free-to-play games, to be honest, but it's great compared to that stuff. And this is probably what most people will spend their gems on, is these skins for units or different icons that you can get. So okay, so what is this game? I compared it to Desert Strike, but what if you don't know what Desert Strike is? Okay, so basically it's diagonal. There's one long string. That's the map, and on one side is your base where you build spawners, and every so often they spawn units. And on the other side is the enemy base where they do the same thing. They have a core, and there's turrets that you can capture in the middle, and you cast spells, and the spells can summon units, they can build structures, they can heal, cause damage, relocate here will teleport your structures for you, well, teleport units, period. And that's basically it. You, in various different ways, you spawn units, and they all move towards the enemy, and they, you know, one of you will push the other to the core and destroy the enemy core. I'm at a loss how to describe this. This game is basically exploits the game at its core. You get in here and you have all these different units. What makes this unique is almost every unit and structure in the game has something special about it that you can sort of focus your strategy on and exploit. Like take the Voidbanes here, for instance. They have Soul Gather, and every time a unit near them dies, it drops a soul, which they will pick up and increases their energy. Every time their energy increases by 1, they gain more health and more damage. Now, you can combine them with things like the Footmen, where you spawn 4 of them at once, so that's more units dying. There's also this building. Yes, the Sapling Bush. There's a bunch of units like this that spawn these cheap little one-hit units, and that'll help your Voidbanes by, you know, dying and giving them energy. There's also buildings that just give you energy. On top of that, you can combine it with spells like Frenzy. Yeah, like Frenzy, where they have extra attack speed and attacking heals them. So that's great. You know, you combine units. Now, how about stuff that the developers probably didn't plan for? Okay, so the way they balance this out is there are different tiers. There's stone, copper, silver, gold, and then diamond. And if you have a deck that has some copper units or copper cards, whatever you want to call them, it has copper stuff in it, you will only face other players who also have decks that have copper in them. Likewise with silver. If you have silver stuff in your deck, you will only face other players that have silver tiered items. So this is cheesable in the fact that if you can create a deck that is really good, that is only stone, you will only face players who also have stone. So I have a couple of decks here that do interesting things. And I already know what some of you might be thinking. Tarrker, does that mean there are some units at the stone level that are better than others? And yes, why of course there are. And they're called the Thistle. I mean, you can already see it here. I've already made the deck. But yeah, the Thistle. It has double shot and evasion. It is rather cheap. It only costs 100 mana. And let's see, what kind of range do these guys have? Their range is 8, which is actually farther than some of the turrets in this game. They don't have much health. They mostly will get killed in one shot, and they don't deal that much damage, but they can attack 2 targets at a time, and they have a 40% evasion chance. They dodge 40% of all attacks that come their way. So combine that with the fact that they're cheap and they're ranged units, and you're on the stone level, so you're fighting the weakest units in the game, you better believe that this is a very powerful deck for very little. You can basically start the game up and immediately make this deck. Now, if you're going to reproduce this, I would suggest you get 5 spawners and just fill the rest in with as many thistles as you can get. When you first start off, you probably have to substitute with something like the sapling bush, or perhaps rootlings. Whatever you want to do. I might suggest like throwing a void bane in there, but honestly, this makeup, the just thistles, is insane, and I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so here we are in the game, and there's honestly not a lot of strategy to this. There is a bit of a strategy, but I mean, you basically just spawn the thistles. So you place your units back here. You get 2 of these spawners when you first start. Well, you get so much essence, and the spawners cost essence. And spending mana, which regens, gives you essence. So as you spawn units and cast spells, you will be able to make more spawners. And to that, you have this here. So I can also hit space. It'll switch between my base and wherever I was on the map. And you can already see my thistles are kind of overpowered here. Like they are just going through these guys like nobody's business. And I've already got another spawner to throw up. Let's see where he's at. Yeah, he's only got 2 spawners. I've got my 3rd one already because the thistles are just so damn cheap. And I think what I'm going to do here, here's a little bit of strategy. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let him push me if he pushes me, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to save up my mana. If you have maximum mana, it's instead puts your production towards essence. And you can produce essence, which will get you more spawners. And I'm going to let him push me. And let's see what happens. Well, I mean, I already know what's going to happen, but you're gonna get to see what happens. Basically this. Oh gosh, that's a lot of thistles all at once. And the only problem with waiting is that means his tower is going to regen its ammo. So one little thing I like about this game is you can click on anything and get some information about it, and it'll tell you everything. That really drops my frame rate though for some reason, so I'm not going to do it so much. But yeah, here's the thistle, which isn't a big deal. So yeah, here we go. And I will soon, yep, there it is. There's my 4th spawner. And what's he got? He's still only got 3. Yep. And this is just gonna Oh boy. Alright, yep, and he's got a Void Bane. And see, this is the problem at stone level. A lot of these people, they don't really know how to play. He's got a bunch of these different types of units that all do different interesting things, but he's not focusing on any one thing. Like if he had a bunch of Void Spawners, or what are they? If he had a bunch of Void Banes and then lots of expendable units, that would be a deck to be reckoned with. But because he's got just one Void Bane, some skeletons, you know, a Rootling here, my Thistles are just going to destroy him. And I feel kind of bad because, you know, he doesn't know how to play yet. He probably just downloaded it this morning and is trying it out. You know, this is his first deck that he's actually made himself. And here I am with my Thistles just pushing him back. Because, I mean, they have evasion and double strike. So it just... I mean, I am at the mercy, very much at the mercy of the random number generator. You can see right there, I lost a bunch of them because they didn't dodge. And that's how it works. That's how it goes. You know, the game is actually quite well balanced if you have some strategy. That's another thing too, is I know the strategy in this game really well. I know when to save and when to push. That's an important thing, even when your deck is just all one type of unit. You still need to know when to save up and when to just spend. And right now I'm spending because I'm pushing. Basically, if you're getting pushed and you're not pushing them back very well, that's when you want to save up your resources and just wait and spend them all at once. But I'm pushing, so I'm just going to keep spending as soon as I'm able to. And I mean, there's not much you can do against this at this point. I'm just going to crush him. And yep, there we go. So he's got this wonderful diverse deck. I've got just my Thistles, and yeah, so he destroyed my little army with his base, but now his Nexus has no more ammo, and I'm just going to take him over. So there you have it. I win. It took me over 5 minutes, which usually I win in a lot less time. So here is the post-game screen. I'm not premium, so I get about half the XP. And here he is. He's got this wonderfully diverse deck, and here I am with just my Thistles, and I won because I focused on a strategy that works. Now the Thistles, they have the double strike evasion, and they're pretty good by themselves, so I don't really need anything else in my deck. So I'm going to show you now, I'm going to show you some more exploits, so to speak. I call this exploits the game because the player with the best exploits wins. Okay, so I was talking about Void Banes before, and so here's a little Void Bane deck that I made. I've got 4 Void Bane spells. Each one of these spawns a Void Bane as a spell. And then I've got my little spawners here that are just my ranged attackers that, you know, I've got 2 of the Thistles, 1 of the Frostbanes, and here I want to show you some more of these cool exploits with these decks that I've created. Now, most of the games will last an average of 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. This is my Void thingy, and I'll show you how that works. I'm not gonna lie, my voice isn't so great right now because I'm not feeling so great right now. Also, I'm really hoping there's not a lot of noise going on in my background because I've got all kinds of heaters and things running because it's also freezing cold outside. And so now I'm going to push this guy back because I was patient and waited. I will also summon more Void Banes. I always forget what they're called. I want to call them Void Walkers, which is a Warcraft thing, I think. But I just keep spawning my things here and buffing my dudes when I get the chance. And hopefully I'll push them back with my superior deck makeup and my well-timed strategies. You can sort of see how this game works here is just, you know, you spawn units and you push them back and you capture the towers, and at 5 minutes the towers will start shooting at his cooler. But hopefully by then you will have pushed him back, or he will have pushed you back, you know, whatever. Oh, but I'm going to win anyway, so that's good. Let's just buff these guys so they have faster attack speed. And I win because I had a better exploit. Boosh. But this is how the game works. You know, when you win, you get a free card, and it'll give you a choice of 3 random cards you can pick. And through these means, you make a deck. And plus, you get these credits. You can do quests. The game throws tons and tons of stuff at you in the hopes of preparing you to make your own decks. So I'm just going to go over this. You can see here I've got these turrets plus a little extra stone tower, just, you know, to fill a slot. And basically you spawn these guys, and you know what, I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to show it to you. Okay, so I skipped ahead a little bit here, but you can kind of see what I'm going for with this strategy. What the exploit is in this deck. Basically, I build a line of turrets, and then I teleport the turrets. That's it. Nothing crazy. Just gonna move these guys up, and every time you teleport, every time you use the relocate spell, it heals them and gives them a bit of ammo. So yeah, there's that. I wanna spawn more, but I also don't want to muddy up my build here. Basically, I can only teleport so many at a time, up to 6. Okay, so I can put him in there. Basically, I want to make sure that I am able to teleport my stuff. Okay, so now that's out of ammo, I'm going to teleport up my turrets, and they will hopefully deal with all this stuff. If nothing else, I will have captured the turret, and in that way, I was able to just push my whole way up through here just by teleporting these little turret guys. And now this guy has got to be just furious. Can you imagine how pissed off this guy is? He's probably spent a lot of time making this deck, and here I am with my turrets just teleporting onto his towers and his core and stuff, and just ruining his day with my pro MLG strats here. Just gonna resummon some of my stuff so that it's full, and then wait for that to be out of ammo, and then bam, there we go. I just won. If I'm feeling spunky, I can sort of go like this. But yeah, there we go. I win. Yay! Hopefully you can see what this game is trying to do with its units and stuff. And I'm really hoping to generate a little more push for this game. If you are a fellow YouTuber, please share this game on your channel, make videos. If you're just a gamer, tell your friends, give it a try. It's free. It's totally free. I have paid $0 for this game. I intend to spend money on it just to support the dev, but I gotta buy food first. So, but this game deserves to be played. It's a fun game. There's a bunch of different modes. I've been doing quick match, but there's also 2 versus 2, which you need a teammate. Like you need to have one of your friends join you to do this, because there's just not that many people playing. Now this is kind of low, but at prime time, 9 o'clock at night, the most I've really seen is like 70 some people, so it's still not that many players. But yeah, there's a bunch of different game modes. Let me go back to that. You can do the golem challenges, which are all single player, and you can do the co-op, which is the 2 of you versus a tougher golem. And then there's all these little guides you can see that teach you how to play the game, and basically what it's all about, using the exploits to the best of your ability. But all in all, I love Exploits, the game. I mean Rise of Legions. It is a great game. They keep releasing these expansion packs. This is from the last one when they released the tech units, but the most recent one is Crystal Dawn, which is the Crystal Legion, which has some pretty freaking cool stuff in it. But yeah, play the game. Seriously, play the game. You can play it right now on Steam. It's a 2 gig download. Get it, share it with your friends, go to the Discord server. That's all I have to say. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my stuff. I'm going to be doing more of this, and I definitely have some more game exploits to show from other games. I wanted to cover this one first because I love this game.